Want to know how to sell your home yourself for top dollar? We'll cover that today on Freaking Last Friday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Elliott with the Elliott Real Estate Team at RE/MAX Action. Super excited to deliver this information. If you would, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You might be looking at me with a little bit of a side eye saying, hey, why are you giving this away if you're an agent? What's the hook? What's the catch? Let's address the elephant in the room. So the reason I'm willing to give this information away is because all this information I'm gonna give you, there's no secrets, there's no secret sauce. The difference really comes down to, and success in real estate really comes down to execution. How well can you execute on the information that I'm about to give you? So there's no fear of loss from my end, because I know there's a certain percentage of people that are always going to want to do everything themselves. They change their own oil, they cut their own hair, they grow their own vegetables. I love you guys. You're probably not our customers, so I hope you find this information useful. But there's also a percentage of people that are going to recognize that, hey, there's a lot more to this than just slapping it on Zillow, or there's some folks that would prefer just to have a professional do it for them. So anyway, that's why I'm giving it away, and hopefully if you're on the fence, we would love to earn your business through displaying our knowledge in this video. But anyway, let's get right into it. So there's three elements to a successful sale. These are the three elements that we always talk through with all of our clients. There's marketing, there's condition, there's price. I'm gonna go through each one of them with you. You might be thinking that the three elements of a successful sale are location, location, location. I know that's kind of the common mantra, conventional wisdom in real estate. Location is super important, of course. Yes, that influences value, but I don't know about you, I've never really been able to influence location short of picking up a house and moving it, so we're just going to leave that one on the table today. So let's talk about price. So the first thing is the common misconception that we find with people is that they can hang their hat on AVMs, automated valuation models, i.e., your Zestimate, Realtor.com estimate, what Redfin thinks your house is worth, what your insurance company, what your mortgage company thinks your house is worth. Pretty much everybody's got these models today. They pull from different data points. They've certainly got a whole lot better in the last few years than they were previously. But here's the thing about all of those models: none of them can see inside your house. So none of them know what upgrades you've done or haven't done. None of them know the condition of your property. None of them know what upgrades you have or haven't made. A lot of them don't account for non-living square footage. So if you've got a 2-car detached garage, a lot of times that's not going to show up within their calculation. If you've got a screened porch, if you've got an unfinished basement, a lot of those models can't take those factors into account. And that's why those models can be a little bit tricky sometimes. Those models also don't have a pulse for the market. So if they typically lag behind a little bit. If we know that, hey, if we sold a house up the street, we knew it was super hot, we got 10 offers, and the property went for $70,000 over asking price, that valuation model is not going to know that because that sale hasn't closed. Whereas a good real estate agent, not all, but a good real estate agent is going to have a pulse from the market. They're going to have relationships with other agents where they can, ascertain that information, get that, know that, and price your home accordingly. So that is that. When it comes to price, next is running comps. So typically what we're doing here is we're looking at properties, and granted exceptions to every rule, but the large majority of properties, you can follow this formula. So we're gonna look at properties plus or minus 10% in square footage. So if you've got a 3,000 square foot home, ideally we're looking at homes plus or minus 300 square feet. Realize that basements don't carry the same value as above ground square footage. So if you've got a 4,000 square foot home, that 1,500 of that square feet is in a basement versus a 4,000 square foot home where it's 2 levels above ground. That 2-level above ground house is always going to be worth more money. Generally with basements and stuff like that, you've got to run the numbers on above ground square footage, figure out what the addition is on the basement. But that's where you got to be careful. strictly looking at price per square foot, because things like that don't carry the same value on a price per square foot basis. So hope that makes sense. Ideally, as far as the location goes, we're pulling from the same subdivision, the same area, the same school districts, the same property type, the same psychology of the buyer. So for example, if there's a 55 plus community versus just a normal traditional 2-story colonial neighborhood, those are two different buyers. So yes, they might be right next to each other. Yes, they may have similar square footage, year built, all those things, but it's two completely separate areas. So this is where kind of those hyper-local dynamics really come into play. There's certain areas of town where once you cross, north or south of a certain street, the prices skyrocket or diminish. Same thing goes with school districts. I can think of several areas where literally there's a dividing line between the neighborhood, the south side or the north side or the east side or the west side goes to one school district, the other one goes to another, and the values are split accordingly. So something to just know when you're pricing your home. You really got to take all those factors into account. And then last but not least on pricing, we've got to make adjustments for the upgrades you do or don't have compared to the comps, specific features of your property, i.e. if you got an in-ground pool, lot position, so a home on a busy street versus a home at the dead end of a cul-de-sac. The dead end of the cul-de-sac is generally speaking going to sell for more money. And also too, if you have any repairs or deferred maintenance on your property, we're going to have to adjust down on the price for that. Also keep in mind, everyone's a little bit biased of their home. So the joke is always, whatever you think your home is worth, take 20% off the top, and that's probably what your home will sell for. So myself included, agents fall into the same trap as well. We're all biased to our properties because we've got memories there. We know how much time and effort and money we've put into our homes, but just realize that if you're pricing your home yourself, you're gonna have a natural bias to think that your home is worth more potentially than it should be, and overpricing your home can ultimately hurt you because it could cause less visibility, less interest in your property, and buyers writing you off as an unreasonable seller. All right, so we've talked price, now we're gonna talk condition. And when we say condition, we're referring to the condition of the property. So here's a couple things that we typically look at with clients. Are there any required repairs or deferred maintenance that should be taken care of? We're in a market right now, this is being shot March 2022, where a lot of buyers are willing to accept conditions on properties that historically they have not been able to. If there's wood rot, broken windows, repairs that need to be done. Once the market normalizes, which eventually will, those repairs become important, because if there's undone repairs or deferred maintenance on a property, the buyer is automatically going to assume that there's more issues that can't be seen by the naked eye, and a lot of times that will cause you to get a lower price for your home. So we'd recommend fixing stuff that needs to be fixed, in short. Next, we're going to look at improvements, or what improvements financially make sense to invest in the property, i.e. replacing carpet, painting, installing granite, switching out appliances. This is something you really got to look at your comparables in your neighborhood with homes that buyers are going to be comparing you to. Are you in a price point where there's an expectation that a home looks a certain way, or certain things that a buyer is going to expect out of your property? Once again, that's kind of a hyper-local dynamic that you got to look at. And then last but not least, staging, which is really just making sure that your property shows well when it's on the market. This includes decluttering, depersonalizing, staging the interior for aesthetics, moving around furniture in an aesthetically pleasing way, and then just general polishing up of curb appeal, i.e. power washing, mulch, restaining decks, things like that, just to make sure that the exterior of the property looks good. Last but not least, we're going to talk about marketing. So this is where I think I see most for sale by owners kind of fall short. Is the common line that I hear from a lot of folks is, hey, my home will sell itself. And the reality is your home may sell itself, but it's probably not going to sell itself for the maximum price that you can potentially achieve, right? There's a reason that companies like Mercedes-Benz, Tesla, Nike, there's a reason that all these companies spend buku bucks marketing their products. They've already got superior products, but if they just relied on the products to sell themselves, they're probably not going to sell as many, and they certainly wouldn't be able to sell them for the prices that they sell them. So what we do on that, what I would recommend, get yourself some professional photos from a professional real estate photographer. You're probably going to want to have that photographer / videographer shoot a video tour of your property. If you've got a really nice lot, or if you've got a good amount of space, you're probably going to want that photographer to shoot drone footage for you as well. I'd highly recommend getting your property in an MLS feed so you can do certain things like flat fee list your property with certain firms that will put your listing in the MLS for $500. You can post it just on Zillow for free, but you are going to limit the visibility of your home because there are certain buyers that don't look on Zillow, even though it's the biggest site. There's plenty of buyers that Realtor.com, Redfin, you name it, are the sites that they're looking at. So we highly recommend getting it into the MLS some way, somehow, so that way it'll trickle out to all the third-party sites. Here's another big one. Notify agents and offer commission to buyer's agents. So one stat that I think is relevant to mention, 89% of all sales happen with a buyer's agent on the other side of transaction. So if agents representing buyers don't know that your property exists, or they're not encouraged to show your property because you're not offering a standard commission or a commission at all, you are literally limiting yourself to 10% of the market. So once again, you're probably going to be successful, at least in this market, selling your property, but just realize if you're cutting out 90% of the buyer pool, the likelihood is that you're not getting the highest offer that's possible, even after net of commissions and all that. A couple things that we didn't talk about are showings and reviewing of offers. I'm going to leave it here just because this is a long enough video as it is. But if you got all this, if you took good notes and you still feel confident that you're able to sell your home yourself, God bless you. I absolutely wish you the best. We will definitely keep your property in mind for the buyers that we're working with. But if you watch this video, you feel a little bit overwhelmed, you're not as sure that this is the right move for you, we would love to talk. We'd love the opportunity just to show you what we offer, what we can do, the results that we can produce. Shoot me a DM, reply back, give me a call, send me a smoke signal, whatever. So hope you guys found that useful. We'll see you on the next video. Have a good rest of your day.